Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Wrestling Nightmare Podcast. I am looking to change the name and start to upgrade this. I know I've been talking about that for a while, but as I've said, my situation hadn't changed the way I thought. As I said, I had left my job, started a new one, but still helping the old one. But they recently hired somebody, so in another month or so, I should be freed up, and I can really put all my attention into this because this is what I really would like to do. As I said, I like doing this for fun. I'm glad that some of you guys are watching. Definitely would love more feedback just to interact with you guys and talk more. I've had a few back and forth with some of you, so I do enjoy that. But like I said, welcome to the next episode. It is May 23rd, about 10:20. I'm based in New York, so just watched a great win for the Yankees, winning it in extra innings. They had just been such a putrid team at the start of the season, but going into the third month of the season, they seem to be playing a lot better. I mean, they were in last place. And, if you're in New York or if you're a Yankee fan, wherever you're listening to this, when was the last time you said the Yankees are in last place? I mean, it was something that these guys were in last freaking place. But I guess, within the last 2 weeks, 3.5 weeks or so, they've moved up. Now they're in third place. They're behind Baltimore right now. They just beat Baltimore. So if they could sweep Baltimore, they're in a 5-game win streak, but they'll probably give one game up. But if they could sweep them, they could improve their standing. But still early in the season, but just the fact that they were in last place was just something. Over into basketball right now, my friend is a huge Celtics fan, and unfortunately his Celtics are teetering on elimination right now against the Heat. Big shocker with LeBron James. I mean, when was the last time you heard the Nuggets were going to the championship? That's a surprise. So a lot of crazy things in sports going on. But that's not what this podcast is about or this episode's about. This is about Night of Champions coming up this Saturday at 1 o'clock. Originally this was supposed to be King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring, and for whatever reason they decided to change it. Don't know if they're going to do anything with it. There was talk that they were going to do the tournament at Night of Champions or start it or finish it there. and just crown somebody there rather than just being the full event. Don't know why they changed it. And like I said, I remember the King of the Ring as a kid, 95, 96 and all that, and then it disappeared, and then I think it came back in 2002 when Brock Lesnar won it, and then it disappeared again, then it came back a couple of more times. I think that's when, Booker T and then Sheamus, and I think Booker T won it, then I think it disappeared again, and then I think that's when, it came back for Sheamus and Wade Barrett and all that stuff, and I like the concept that they did with King of the Ring in 2002, where it was if you won, you got your championship shot at SummerSlam. And remember, King of the Ring used to be used as a launching pad for the next star, way back when the Royal Rumble really wasn't seen as that, and then it became, okay, if you win the Royal Rumble, you go to WrestleMania. And then I like what they did in 2002, that, if you're the winner of the Royal Rumble, that meant that, you're like the next guy that they wanna really push. And to some degree that changed because, they didn't want every Royal Rumble winner to win, and they started changing that format a little bit, that even if you win the Royal Rumble doesn't mean you're going to win the championship. But I think it was a good concept because it put a little bit more meaning behind it. King of the Ring was used as a launching pad, and obviously you saw what it did for people at Triple H and obviously Stone Cold Steve Austin. But it's lost its luster. I think even though I'm excited about the Royal Rumble every year that it comes around, I do think it has lost a little bit of its luster. And I don't think they did that on purpose. It's just, they have to mix it up. It doesn't become fun if every winner of the Royal Rumble wins the championship at WrestleMania. But it's like, okay, you get your opportunity, then you're dropped, Could you continue that story? Like, okay, you didn't get it done. Like Cody Rhodes, like what they're doing with Cody right now. Cody won the Royal Rumble, but he didn't win at WrestleMania. So I kind of like how we're still building up that story. Lately they just kind of once they lose, they drop it. And again, that's not terrible, but you want to kind of still give a little bit of that buzz. I think that's just been lost a little bit between the Royal Rumble and then with King of the Ring. You can do that the winner gets their title shot at SummerSlam, and that doesn't take away from Money in the Bank either, So I think there's just some things that they can do to put premiums back on some of these events rather than just doing them for the sake of doing them. But we got 7 matches lined up for Night of Champions on Saturday. This event's a little bit different. It's going to be on at 1 o'clock. I don't know if I'm going to watch it live. To tell you the truth, I don't even know what I'm doing this weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend. A lot of people are going to be out, probably heading to the beach, just enjoying themselves. I just finished, my semester, still doing the 2 jobs. Like, the last thing I really want to do is, like, travel or anything like that. So I can tell you right now, my ass is going to be probably just sitting in the back patio. I'll pull the TV out there and maybe just watch it out there, or I'm probably going to watch the Yankee game first because the Yankees do play at 1 o'clock. I'll probably watch that, then watch Night of Champions, and then probably watch the Met game at 9:10. That's probably what I'm going to do because I am just like mentally drained and I don't want to do anything. So it's sort of a good weekend. Not to mention you have AEW, their pay-per-view event coming up on Sunday as well. So you got a pretty big weekend of, I don't know if the NBA Finals will still be going on, but, you have this, you got baseball, you got the wrestling. So it's a good Memorial Day weekend mixed in with your traveling. But as far as the matches go, for me, there's not too much excitement because I feel a lot of it's predictable with the exception of maybe 2 matches. And you guys can probably guess which those matches are. But, I'll start at the bottom. I'm on Wikipedia, right? I'll start at the bottom. Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. There is no value in Trish winning this match unless they're looking to continue this through the summer. I don't see why Trish would go over. I mean, it makes sense for Becky to go over. I wasn't 100% thrilled with the storyline because it just seemed sort of rushed and a little bit half-assed. And, the way Lita just sort of went out of the picture. So, like, this is how we just say goodbye to Lita. She just gets attacked by Trish that we don't see it. They lose the women's tag team titles and Lita's off TV. That's it. Her appearances are over. Is she going to appear at Night of Champions to help Trish? To help Becky? Is that going to lead into a match with Trish and Lita one more time? And then eventually we'll get back to Trish and Becky, so Becky gets her win back. How are we doing this? So for me, Becky Lynch is going to go over. The only way I see Trish Stratus going over is if, she cheats or something, or somehow Lita's involved and they do a screwy finish where, like I said, maybe we'll do Trish and Lita one more time at Money in the Bank or something, and then that'll lead to something else. Maybe Trish will enter Money in the Bank. I don't know what they're doing with Trish, but I just don't think it makes sense for her to win this match unless you have a few more plans for her in the hopper. So I'm going to just go right now and say it's going to be Becky Lynch going over. This is still confusing to me. Rhea Ripley versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Champion. If Rhea Ripley is on Raw, why is she still carrying the SmackDown Women's Championship? And if Bianca Belair is on SmackDown, why is she still carrying the Raw Women's title? Why haven't they done the swap yet? Like, to me, this makes no sense. And Natalya is on Raw. So, I mean, Rhea's going to win the match anyway. But what are we doing here? I mean, are we using Are we going to use Money in the Bank, the winner of the Money in the Bank, to cash in on somebody to make this worth, okay, we're going to cash in, the winner of Raw will win. So now that person will cash in on Bianca to bring the Raw title back home. I mean, if that's what they're going to do, I mean, I guess that's fine. Maybe that's a little bit better than you just having them swap the belts out. But then how does that solve Rhea's problem of being on Raw with the SmackDown Championship? Because now you can't swap the title anymore because now the person actually won it from Bianca Belair. So that's a little weird to me as well. But like I said, Rhea's going to win the match away, so sort of a moot point. And that's sort of interesting too with this match because I am under the impression that Asuka was going to win against Bianca because, like I said, as much as I like Bianca Belair, I think it's time for her title reign to end. I'm a little tired of seeing her with the belt. I would like to see somebody else. I would actually like to see a heel Bianca Belair. I think she would make a very good heel. I mean, she could definitely keep the braid and maybe go from the bright red lipstick to like black. I mean, you might be saying she's ripping off Rhea Ripley a little bit, but they might see her as a John Cena where they never want her to turn heel because she is such, an inspiration to a lot of little girls. A lot of little girls look up to her. She may not ever want to turn heel, and they may not want to turn her heel because of that. But I just think it's time for I think it's time for Bianca to drop the title and give it to somebody else. But now, with that being said, the winner, because there is going to be a female winner of the Money in the Bank briefcase, and I would hate for them to cash in on Rhea and end her title so quickly. And it's probably more meaningful to do it against Bianca Belair. And the way you're building up Asuka, I like the new character of Asuka, and that kind of bothered me that they're going to beat Asuka. So as much as I want Asuka to win, I think Bianca Belair is going to retain her title. And I think whoever wins Money in the Bank is going to be the one to cash in on Bianca and take the title from her. Now, that could be Asuka. Asuka could go on and win Money in the Bank. Like I said, I like Asuka's new character. I think it's great, and that's why I think she should, take the title from her. But I think they might hold off on that because I don't think they should end Rhea Ripley's title reign yet. I don't. Yes, I will admit it's been a little lackluster since she's won it because you don't have enough realistic opponents for her. Especially if she's a heel, so it makes it a little tougher because a lot of baby faces suck right now. So it's a little tough for Rhea right now, but I would not end her reign yet. So as much as I want Asuka to win, I'm going to say Bianca Belair is going to win. Gunther versus Mustafa Ali. I mean, come on, we all know Gunther's going to win. I mean, this is, I don't want to say it's a joke, but you know why they're putting Mustafa Ali on the card. Look where they're going, so there you go with that one. The tag team undisputed titles with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, the Bloodline. I mean, it's clear with this one too. Would it be something if they had Roman hold all these titles? That would be something, but that's not going to happen. This is what I'm just not sure about, how they're going to play this. I do not recall, but I think the Usos can travel to Saudi Arabia. Because like with England, they had their DUIs and all that stuff that they couldn't travel. I'm trying to remember, and I think in past events, they did show up. Or they did have matches. Actually, they did because they were at Crown Jewel when he faced Logan Paul. When did he do that? Was that last year when he faced Logan Paul? Damn, that was back in November. Jesus. Man, time freaking flies, doesn't it? But yeah, so the Usos can go. So to me, the Usos are going to cost Roman and Solo their the titles. That they're going to try to help them, but they're going to screw it up. And maybe that's when we'll see Solo attack Jimmy and Jay. I think this might be where we'll finally see it. Maybe we'll hold off on it, but I think this is where we're going to see it because it's been teased. I would say if the Usos couldn't go there, I would say they would probably have Riddle screw things up for, excuse me, have Riddle screw things up for like Solo and all that. But I really think that it's going to be the Usos who will cost them the titles, trying to help them. It's going to piss off the tribal chief. And I think Solo will attack them. Maybe even Reigns will get a Superman punch in. But I think this is where we see, you know, where the Usos are kind of going to be out on a limb by themselves. And then we're going to have to see, where are we going with this? Are we going with this that they're going to try to find a way back in the good graces? Are they going to turn babyface? And now it's, you know, them trying to take the titles off of him now. You know, where are we gonna, you know, where are we gonna go with this one? So that's where I see it for that one, and that's why I think, you know, all the matches I've listed so far are the more predictable ones. You know, could it make storyline sense for Roman and Solo to win? Yeah. I mean, would I be mad if they did that? I wouldn't be. Because then it makes it, maybe it increases that tension, because it's like, look what I had to do. I had to bring the titles back. Me and Solo had to, because we're the ones who get things done in the bloodline. You know, so you guys can hold them. You can carry them for us, but you're not the champs. You know, we're the champs. And then maybe later on down the road, you know, they'll cost them the title somewhere down the road. So, but I don't think they're ready to take it off of Sami and Kevin Owens yet. You know, they're a hot babyface team, and you know, it probably would be a mistake to do it. If they took it, like I said, would I hate it? No, but I don't think they want to start playing hot potato with the tag titles just yet, after the Usos had it for so long, and then have Kevin Owens and Sami just lose them so quickly. I don't think we're going to do it. That's the other thing. You know, it's a lot of surprise to people that Sami Zayn is even going. You know, he's been very anti going over there, but I believe there's been some talks between Saudi and I can't remember the other country. I think that's why he's going, because if he wasn't going, this match never would have been announced. And it probably would have been, you know, Sami getting taken out and Kevin Owens versus Solo, or Kevin and Riddle versus Solo, or something like that. Something else would have been done. But if he wasn't going, this match never would have been announced. So the second they announced it, you knew, like, okay, whatever was holding Sami from going back has gotten, you know, resolved or settled enough for him to say, okay, I'll go to Saudi Arabia. So here's one of the matches that I think is a little difficult to predict what's going to happen. And that's Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. And I think because everybody agreed that their last match, the finish was so flat, the second match sort of feels a little forced, to me anyway. And like I said before, it seems like they're using Brock, for certain people, Brock is used as a test. That if you can take all the beatdowns and how, you know, rough Lesnar looks and everything like that, that if you can take that and survive it, okay, we're comfortable making you the champion or making you a star or whatever. And I feel like that's what they're doing now. I think they did it with Seth, they did it with Roman, they did it with Drew, and now they're doing it with Cody. So this is the test he has to play, fine. But I can see a scenario where Brock wins, and I can see a scenario where Cody wins. And I've seen some things that are saying that, well, if Cody loses and Brock wins, you've pretty much killed off all the momentum. Now, some says his momentum was killed off after he lost at WrestleMania. And some say, well, what little momentum he has left will be destroyed if Brock beats him. I've always, I should say always, you know, I've accused that Brock rarely puts over people. But lately he has. Okay? And, you know, it might come off lopsided, but he has helped out people like Drew McIntyre. He did help out people, God, who was the other person that beat him? Jesus Christ. Maybe it probably wasn't the greatest with Bobby Lashley. But, he's helped out Drew because, Drew's beating him. He gave Goldberg that extra rub that he needed when Goldberg was coming back. He's done it with Seth. He's done it with Roman. A select few. Definitely a select few. But he's done it. But, Seth has won some. Brock has won some. Roman's won some. Brock has won some. Will Brock go 0-2 against Cody? I don't know. Because I am still of the belief that Cody has to be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. And the only way that happens now, and like I said, unless you're going to keep Roman a champion until next year, the only way now is if Cody wins Money in the Bank. So, do you have Cody win this match, put Brock in the rearview mirror, and Cody goes on to Money in the Bank? Does Cody win the match, but you want to do a third match, and Brock stops Cody from becoming Mr. Money in the Bank? Does Brock win at Night of Champions? And now Cody says, forget Money in the Bank, I need to take down Brock. Or do both men enter Money in the Bank? And that's sort of where Cody gets his revenge, that they're both atop the ladder and Cody manages to knock Brock off and takes the briefcase. Is that possible? So the outcome of this match determines the future of what happens with, I think, Cody and the Money in the Bank. Because like I said, unless you are planning to have Roman Reigns walk into WrestleMania 40 as the champion, then you can stretch this and maybe have Cody win the Royal Rumble back-to-back. Because anything less is a failure of Cody's return. Cody cannot win this World Heavyweight Championship that they're bringing back. And I have some criticisms on that, and I'll mention that in a little bit. To me, you can't. And even if Cody does do it, to me, you're minimizing it a little bit by having this other championship, but it is what it is. But Cody has to be the one to dethrone Roman. How do we get to that point? Does Cody win Money in the Bank and challenge Roman at SummerSlam? Does he challenge him at Survivor Series? If they decide to have a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, does he face Roman inside Hell in a Cell? Or does Cody say, I already know what I'm cashing this in, WrestleMania 40? But does that make sense? Because then that tells you, well, then, yeah, they're going to keep Roman as the champion. I'm guaranteeing myself a championship match because I'm going to cash this in WrestleMania no matter who the champion. That doesn't really make too much sense. Can I see them doing something like that? Yeah, but I'm sure that's low on the list of options to do. So how do we get Cody away from Brock so Cody can move on back into the championship picture? Or do we need to delay for a few more months and keep Cody occupied with Brock? I can see a scenario where Brock wins, gets his win back. Does that make Brock look bad that he's losing to a guy who has one arm? Yeah, he did it with Seth, but that's different. Seth is not Brock. Does that hurt Brock? Because it seems like Brock's going to be around for a while. So it's hard for me to pick a winner on this one. Who's going to win this match? Um, because it's hard for me to pick one. Because I can see it going both ways. That you have Cody win, but what I'm saying is that if Cody wins on Saturday, is that the end of him and Brock? Is Brock just going to go 0-2 against him? Because I'm trying to think. Well, yeah, I guess Brock. Brock is 0-1. Yeah, he hasn't beaten Drew McIntyre, so I guess they could go 0-2 with Brock. I guess they could. Yeah, maybe they can do it. I don't know. It's hard for me to say that Cody's going to win this match. Yes, I know he gave the impassioned speech on Raw, but it's hard for me to see Cody winning this match. I am probably wrong, but I'm going to go with Brock getting his win back. Or that this just might go to a no contest. That Brock will just beat the shit out of him. And then that's just how they end it. And they sort of leave it open-ended that you're going to get a Cody versus Brock 3. But will that be before SummerSlam? Will it be at SummerSlam? How are we going to do this? So you know what? That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with a no contest. I'm going to go with there's not going to be a winner. That Brock is going to destroy Cody so bad that they're going to stop the match. That's what I'm going to go with for this particular match. And the last match, which will probably be the main event, is Seth Rollins versus AJ for this World Heavyweight Championship. First thing that bothers me is that they're saying that, this is a first for Seth because Seth was the first person, because every time there was a new inaugural championship, Seth was involved in the match and he won. He won the first NXT. He won the Universal Championship. I think there was one more title that he said. I forgot which one I forgot which one it was. I remember seeing the graph. I think there was 3 of them. It was Universal title. It was the NXT Championship. I can't remember what the other one was. But now they're saying he can win the World Heavyweight Championship. This is not a new title. It's a new design, but it's not a new title. So Seth is not going to be the first World Heavyweight Champion. Triple H was the first World Heavyweight Champion because that's when Eric Bischoff handed him the title when Brock went to SmackDown during that whole draft back in 2003. I think it was 2003. So this is not a new belt. And they even said that they're going to continue the lineage of the original one that was discontinued. So let's stop with this. He's going to be the first World Heavyweight Championship. No, he's not. So that annoys me a little bit with that. Now, it seemed like they were going to go straight with Seth winning this belt. But now there seems to be some concern about his schedule because he's in the Captain America movie and what's his schedule going to be like, because apparently they want to make this, and this is why I'm saying this is a consolation prize and it's so secondary to Roman's titles, that they pretty much want, if this makes sense, they want to make it the workhorse title of the championships, meaning they want it to be the Intercontinental title because the Intercontinental is always known as the workhorse title. And they pretty much want to do that with this World Heavyweight Championship. And that, it's going to be on every, premium live event. They're going to be on all the tours and all this. Great. That's great. So now if you do that, are you now trying to minimize? I just think it works against everything they did with Roman. I just think it's just a mistake that they should have waited until they got the titles off of Roman, and then or tried to separate them. So I don't know what they were thinking on this. And now whoever beats Roman, are you always going to carry the 2 belts? Are you going to merge the belts into one? Are you going to keep the Universal title and get rid of the WWE title? Like, what are we doing? But anyway, so I could see a case of AJ Styles winning. And I think that's why they ended up going with AJ Styles as opposed to a, Austin Theory. Like I would have liked to see. I think because it's believable that I think what it creates real doubt if they want to stick with Seth, because it's plausible that you can go with AJ Styles. But I think Seth has momentum right now. I think it would be a huge swerve if they went with AJ. I would almost be okay with them going with AJ because, to me, AJ's a terrible heel. I think AJ's a much better babyface. And I think Seth is a much better heel than he is a babyface. Because remember, Seth's last run as Universal Champion, he was a babyface, I believe. And it did not go well. Now, obviously, remember the whole infamous thing with him and the Fiend in Hell in a Cell, how that did not go well. But his reign was pretty lackluster. And I'm going to look it up because I believe his last reign, I think that's when he beat, when was Seth Rollins' last title run? Because is that when they were doing, I think that's when they were doing, it was him and Becky. And then that's when, what's-his-face, Brock, Brock cashed in and took the title from him. But I think he got it back one more time. I'm just going to look that up really quick. Because, okay, so he was Intercontinental Champion 2017 and 2018. He was Universal Champion in 2018 and 2019. He wouldn't even realize why. Afterwards, Rollins lost the title. Okay, yeah, okay, wow. Yeah, okay, so that was 2018 into 2019. And then that's when he began the whole Messiah thing. But I don't think he won the title again after that. Refused to apologize. Right, that's what Murphy attacked, refused. And then we did the whole visionary thing. Cesaro, Money in the Bank, unsuccessfully won to say nine. Submission. Rollins took part in the final. Rollins defeated WrestleMania Backlash. Championship. Okay, yeah. So that was his last title. So that was his last title reign. He had won it. I think that was the last time him and AJ Styles even feuded with each other, was at Money in the Bank and May 19th. And then, okay, yes, and then they did the Extreme Rules when it was Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans versus Becky and Seth Rollins. And then that's when Lesnar came in, he cashed in, and that's when he... Oh, wait, no, hold on. Rollins won a 10-man battle to face Left for Chance SummerSlam by eliminating Orton. At the event, Rollins defeated him to regain the championship, making him the rest of the whole US champ more than once, and became the first superstar to defeat Lesnar. At the Clash, Seth Rollins. Okay, then that's when he did the Fiend. Okay. That's what I'm trying to think. I'm like, but then when did he do the whole Fiend thing? Okay. So, yeah, so the last time Rollins was champion was in 2019. Okay. So last time Rollins was champion. Seemingly, I think that's probably the last time that AJ Styles was champion. But as a babyface, it didn't work out. It didn't. And I think Seth is much better as a heel, and I would prefer him to be a heel champion. So I would prefer to see AJ win as the babyface, which would pull him back to Raw, and have the two of them feud that it pisses off. Because, he started out as a heel, now he's sort of like the tweener, now he's sort of like a babyface, but, and the other thing is that you want this to be a Raw championship. So what does this mean? Does that mean that this championship is allowed to be on both shows? So if AJ wins, it's okay for him to travel back and forth. But then Roman's exclusive. Like, how are we going to do this if AJ wins? Does AJ go back to Raw? But I'm going to go with the original idea of that they wanted Seth to win this, and I'm going to say Seth is going to win. To tell you the truth, I would actually sort of prefer to see AJ Styles win the title. Like I said, I wanted Finn Balor, but that didn't happen. I would actually like to see AJ Styles win the title. I really would. And if AJ wins, that kind of means that maybe Seth's schedule is sort of a problem for them because of his movie shoot. And, there's been rumblings anyway that I guess he's been wanting to sort of have a little bit more of a flexible schedule now that he's a dad. I don't know how true that is, but I'm going to go with AJ Styles on this one. I'm probably wrong, but I'm going to go with AJ Styles because I think a babyface AJ Styles versus a Seth Rollins heel is probably a better situation. I'm probably wrong that AJ's going to win and they're going to shift him back to Raw. Most likely it's going to be Seth Rollins and then bringing that title back to Raw. But we'll see what happens. But those are my predictions for now. I'm going AJ Styles. I'm going no contest for Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes. I'm going Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn over Roman and Solo, with the Usos costing them the titles. Gunther is going to retain. That's probably going to be a 2-second match. Like I said, as much as I want Asuka to win, I think Bianca Belair is going to retain. Rhea Ripley is going to retain. And I think Becky Lynch is going to win the match. So just looking at the game right now, Celtics hang on. Are the Celtics going to pull a Boston Red Sox like they did to my Yankees in 2004, come back from an 0-3 deficit and win? Can these guys pull it off? Can these guys win 3 more in a row? I mean, they managed to stay alive. We'll see. But that's it for this. Sorry, it's been a little bit long-winded. I was glancing at the game a little bit. Like I said, my friend is a Celtics fan, so I know he's a little happy right now that they hung on. But you guys enjoy Night of Champions. I'll be back on with my reaction to it. It's probably going to be late because I am probably going to watch it at nighttime. I'll probably, like I said, I'm going to watch my baseball game during the day and then watch this event after the game. That will probably bleed into me watching the Met game. But I will be back with it. If you are listening to this, thank you. Tell me if you agree or disagree with my predictions. Tell me if you think you don't even think it should be AJ versus Seth. You think you want to see somebody else. But the good thing about this World Heavyweight Championship that I will say is that, it will give some guys time to shine. And I think eventually this belt will make its way to guys like Finn. I think it'll make its way to guys like Damian Priest. I think it'll make its way to Bobby Lashley. I think it'll make its way to Gunther at some point. He just got them, and maybe Bronson Reed. There's talk about Drew McIntyre coming back as a heel, and that heel feud with Seth Rollins, if Seth Rollins wins this title. I think Edge, there's a lot of excitement for this title because, Edge never lost the World Heavyweight title, so they would like Edge to get it and then I guess retire. That's more of a nostalgia feeling. I'm pretty sure that would happen down the road because I think Edge has said it himself. He probably has a year, maybe a year and a half left in him to continue to do this. So that's probably the good thing, is that there's going to be some guys who deserve to get a little bit more of a spotlight. And they'll get it with this title. But enjoy Night of Champions. Enjoy Memorial Day weekend. Have a safe holiday. Enjoy everybody. Enjoy the barbecue. It's the unofficial start to summer. And I'm pumped for it because, like I said, I just need a quiet weekend. I'll probably be more active on July 4th. But take it easy, guys, and thanks for listening. Enjoy Night of Champions.